Beyond the Game with yours truly, Juicy J, where we dive into a lot of behind the scenes in the game, beyond what we watch in our television screens, and get to have conversations with our guests and get to know them a little bit much more. Before we get into anything, please make sure that you follow us, and you like and you subscribe and share this with everyone that you're going to be talking to. I'm not going alone. And I'm with the beautiful Nhlanhla. Got you, Nhlanhla.
I've been great. I've been fabulous. How you been?
Man, I've been wonderful. Really happy to be here. I've got a lot in store for us here today. Definitely. Listen, we are amongst the presence of South African pride, our captain. Do you know what I mean? You know, our South African professional netball player.
Say what?
You know, because back in my day, I used to, play a bit of netball as well. If you don't know.
Please tell me about the
I'll leave it to the professionals. So today we are with Khanyisa Chawane.
Lovely to be here. I mean, it's always a great opportunity to share your story and be amongst a lot of people that don't know much about netball and behind the scenes, like you mentioned. So I'm excited to be here.
No, really happy to have you here. Listen, so you are from Limpopo, right?
No.
What?
No.
Well, no. It's a complicated story.
Yeah.
I was born in Limpopo, but I live in Mpumalanga.
So now you can see where the confusion came from.
I know. It's confusing almost everybody because right now, which province claims which, so that it's a dispute. But
if we were Zulu, would ask then that would be how we claim it.
Yeah. But I mean, many say I'm from Limpopo because that's where my netball started. That's where I played netball. So that's where people know me from. So if they say, they'll say, oh, Khanyisa from Limpopo. But yeah.
And talking about Polokwane, Limpopo, where you come from, like, how's it been growing up, and how did you find this love and passion for netball?
It's a great long story, but living in Limpopo wasn't that easy. My primary years were actually at home in Mpumalanga, so I went to Drakensberg Primary School, which is in Hoedspruit, and that is / Limpopo. It's at the border.
Okay.
That's why the story is so complicated, because it's at the border of everything. And I think I moved to Limpopo fully when I went into high school, and I was 14 years old. So I went into boarding school there at Hoërskool Ben Foster. That's more in Zanin than Polokwane.
Okay.
So yeah, that's where I lived, and I lived with my grandmother. So boarding school, and weekends we were allowed to go home, and I'd go to my grandparents' place because it's just close by.
Yeah.
So yeah. And growing up there, it wasn't that easy, but I mean, they did everything they could for me to have what I have.
Now you are, the national pride, the captain of the Protea team. How's that?
I got announced in August, and I was told after the announcement that we're going to have a test series at home. I think that was a great moment for me to know that my first cap as a captain would be at home with people that support me, my family and everything. So it was great, and I think the group is lovely. Everyone was just happy that I was the captain or that I was the chosen one. And I mean, if you're looking at the situation, we've had a vice captain that has been there for years, and the situation just looked like when Bongi retires, it would just be like an automatic promotion for her,
Okay.
So, and that wasn't the situation, but she has been very supportive, and it's something that she also expected. Like, she expected me to be the captain over her. So I don't know how that worked out, but at the moment I'm really happy with the situation, and yeah, looking forward to what lies ahead.
So you were raised by your grandparents because you were in and out of boarding school. But at your very quite fragile stage, you lost a parent.
Yeah.
And what was that transition like?
When I was in primary school, I lived obviously with both my parents, and I was actually more of an athlete, like athletics,
And
more
you played
than
soccer.
like a netballer. Yeah, I was holistic, if I look at it like that. When you look at the sporting codes, but I was more of a runner. And at home, they thought I'm going to go to the Olympics when I grow up and all of that. It didn't work out, but my mom was more of the supportive parent in terms of my sports. My dad just wanted
a lot of sports, right?
Yeah, she was a netballer as well. We have a lot of trophies actually from her side at home, and my dad just wanted me to go to school and become a doctor. You know, they all these academic people.
And yourself, what did you want to be?
I just liked running. I just liked being outside and being with my friends and all of that. So. When I was in grade 6, which was 12 years old, that's when my mother got sick. She was diagnosed with kidney failure. And that was more of the rough patches, more than just her passing away at a later stage. Because obviously, growing up, not more of a township, but we're not really informed about such sicknesses and what happens when all of that happens. So it was much more of a struggle having to learn about dialysis and all of those things. And I mean, I was 12, and I lived with my parents, but I still needed to play my part when she was sick and all of that. So we would be in and out of hospital. I just remember one time, so when you have kidney failure, there's a certain amount of water that you have to drink. I don't know that. So, and after you've drank, I think it's 1 liter, if not 1.5. Then you have to go to the hospital and they have to drain the water and then you start all over. So
is this on a daily basis or a certain amount of days apart?
It's on a weekly basis. Okay. But if you look at our lives, you'd probably have 1 liter or 1.5 in 2 or 3 days. Yeah. And if that happens in 2 or 3 days, you have to go to the hospital. So we would go, there was a time we would go 3 times a week, sometimes I'd go 2 times a week, you know. And that was really tough. I mean, I was 12 and I was in and out of hospital with my mother and still having to go to school, come back and all of that and do all the sport. But it was quite sad most of the time because now I'd have to go to sporting events alone, come back with all the medals and everything, and someone is just like laying in bed. It wasn't that fun anymore if the person that really supported you wasn't there. So I think that's when I started not liking athletics that much, because athletics is more of an individual sport, you know, and you just have people that support you. So once those people fall out, you feel alone. It's not like netball. Netball is more like a team sport, you know. So I think after that whole process, I went into netball, and my mom she never believed I could play netball, only because she thought I was just more of an athlete, you know. And I remember starting netball, I played goal shooter.
Wow,
goal shooter.
Really?
Yeah. Because, let me tell you, this is because I was so fast, I couldn't stop with the ball.
Okay.
And you have to stop with the ball. So when I got the ball, I would run with it. So they just put me in the circle to restrict me. Catch the ball, turn around.
That's a good strategy, just to keep you...
and shoot, you know, until I could understand the game. And I think that's where they moved me to goal attack. Then you move to center and all of that. So that was the whole process. So I started liking netball in that. But I think more netball, it opened doors. So... I got selected into the first team when I was 15. Yeah, like I explained, that it's not a situation that you get. You start playing when you're 16 or 17, and I got selected when I was 15, and that's when the bullying started, where people started thinking that I'm in the first team because my mom passed away and my coach is feeling sorry for me, and I'm starting to be the favorite in all of that situation. So, yeah.
Bullying is... Look, it's always going to be a sensitive subject, right? Especially in school, in high school. Now and again, we hear of stories of children committing suicide because of bullying. And here you are taking a different side of being just a student, because like now you are partaking in sports and you've been selected, and yet the bullying is coming in harsh. And mommy's no longer... You could go to her and talk to her about the bullying. She's not there. Who do you rely on?
Probably nobody. In those times, I feel like your grandparents don't really understand. They don't know what bullying is. That's what I'm saying. I don't even think we knew it was bullying at that time. We're only starting to understand those type of concepts now that we're older. And during that time, it was just one of those things, you know.
But how did you take it? Were you not sad? Were you not disgruntled?
Yeah, I just went with it. And I think during those times, because it was such a tough time and really trying to find my feet after my mom's passing, I think that's when I learned a lot of my independence and a lot of me getting myself out of dark spaces. Because at that time, you don't know if the space is dark even, you know. You just navigate through those type of spaces, and once you're happy, you're happy. And I feel like I just continued performing. At the end of the day, it's your achievements, it's your performance that prove those people wrong, but you only realize it later. So yeah, during that time, I didn't really have time to dwell on those type of things.
No, Khanyisa, like I'm actually also a bit curious, because I mean, that was pretty young in your starting of your career, you know, having to like go through that. The same bullying, the passing of your mom, and not really having someone to really lean onto. Like, I could assume that obviously you playing and you performing, or you being on the court, is like a release.
Yeah,
you don't really get to think about what's happening in the outside world, right? I've heard about like your mom and stuff, like, and your grandparents, like. Your dad, wasn't he sort of like there to sort of like try and help you figure out life now that, you know, it's just going to be you, probably him as well?
Yeah, I think if I look at my dad, he was also going through a hard time during that time, as him becoming a single parent to 3 girls, you know, and it's someone that he was really trying to find his feet. I feel like I was the least of his problems, if I think about it. And he was more, I guess he still is, more emotional than I am. I feel like I'm more of the stronger part, where he could lean on me, I could lean on him on that time. But he wasn't someone that I would talk to about my sport or anything I was going through in terms of my sport. Financially, he would support me. In other areas, he would support me. But in terms of my sport, he wasn't someone that was there. Like I said, he didn't really believe in the sport thing. He didn't believe that sport would ever become a career. He just wanted someone who's an academic, and you can be an engineer. You can, you know how black parents are. They're wanting you to be doctors, engineers, and all of the lawyers, all these not sophisticated, but these grand careers. And that's all he wanted to do. So the only thing that I would always talk about him is if I've passed, I've got like 80s or 90s. That's all he was happy about. My sport, it wasn't something that he was interested in.
I'm aware that you were first like a soccer fan. Like, you loved soccer, you played soccer, and I guess that's why you ran with the ball too much. And then like transitioned to like netball. And then obviously like, also your mom was a netball player. So that you feel like now that, you know, with her passing, that's sort of like a way that you get to connect with her.
Yes.
Because I assume that you said she didn't watch you play.
No.
So do you feel like now, in like the way that you've progressed with your netball, like it's sort of like a connection with her?
Yeah, definitely. I feel like I'm proving her wrong. I think I'm proving her wrong in terms of her saying, like, I would tell her we're playing netball and everything, and she would just always say, you can't play netball, because I mean, she was like a star in her days and all of that. So now that I'm actually doing so well, I just, like I said, feel like I'm proving her wrong. But it is that type of connection. It feels like there's still a part of her that still not lives in me, but it's still around, you know. There's still something that I'm doing that makes me feel like I can connect, you know, I can relate, I can feel like, okay, I am in this thing with my mother, you know, and doing well all the time just makes me feel like she's also watching over me as well, and supporting in a sense, you know. So yeah, I do feel that type of connection when I'm playing, and when anything that has to do with netball, I feel like, okay. And it just, growing up, it just felt like I was living under her shadow in terms of netball.
Really?
You know, because that's how good she was where we lived. They knew her as this person. And people who see me today, they're like, oh, you remind me of your mother and how she used to play and all of that. And I don't know how she played. I mean, I didn't watch her in her days. But yeah, so it does bring that sense of connection around
Have any of your coaches, as you sort of like players or like probably coached her?
No.
Or have you never gotten a connection like that? Like
No,
maybe like
not at this level. So probably back then, I don't even know when, but yeah. I don't think any of them know her.
Like when you got that call up, like what was happening in your life then? Did you really think that you would ever get it, or like how did you feel?
In 2017, I was captaining the under-21 team at the World Youth Cup in Botswana. Okay. So we played a World Youth Cup, and I was the captain of that under-21 team. And when we came back from Botswana, that's when I got a call that I'm coming to trial for the national team, you know. And that was actually, I thought I was going to make the team in 2017 after that incident, but it was close to impossible because we played the World Cup and then we came back. Let's say we came back today. The camp was the next day. So I basically came back, sat in a senior camp. But it was really one of the greatest experiences because that gave me more of a head start and more of seeing what is required and what was what they needed. So when I didn't make the team in 2017, I was more positive that actually maybe next year would be an opportunity. And I actually got the opportunity in 2018. But that was more of my best year in terms of my netball career, because I got player of the tournament for almost all the tournaments that we played. And after all those tournaments, that's when I got the call up to say, okay, come trial for the national team. And when I did, I actually made the team.
That is amazing. That was like a really smooth transition.
That was a really smooth transition, yeah.
For me, I'm a very emotional person, right? And sometimes my emotions get the best of me and I really can't perform. So I think what really fascinates me about you is that you just had so much, like, you know, someone could say, hey, I'm dealing with a lot right now. There's this at home. I'm not having someone to help me through certain things internally, because I mean, the world of performance, you know, there's like quite a lot that goes into you performing really well, right? I think for you, I don't know, is it your strong head and the way you think? So do you tend to block off like a lot that's emotional and just like, okay, cool? How do you brush it off?
I think it's more of my upbringing. Like I said, that era or that time with my mom's passing. I mean, she passed away when we were writing exams. So it was athletics pre-season, netball pre-season, and exams. So during that time, it was more of, I still needed to focus on passing. I still needed to make sure that I get to the next grade, not fail, not do anything. So during that time, it really built my mental strength. And from then, learning to deal with that, even today, I still pride myself in that. I'm able to still focus on task at hand, do what I need to do, even though there's still a lot that's happening. So, yeah, I am that type of person. I just really have a strong mental fortitude, as well as I'm not that emotional. And I think that is more of, I take off from my mother. Like, I've never seen that lady cry. The only time I saw her cry was when the doctors told her that her kidneys have failed and now she has to start doing medical procedures and all of that. And that's the only day that she cried. Other than that, you just, I think these days they call it thug it out. You just thug it out and hope that something happens out of it.
And then on the 14th of August 2024, SPAR renewed their commitment to Netball South Africa, right? Well, even if we still don't know how much the amount is, do you know? Do you want to tell me? So on that particular day, the announcement was made, right? And it was a quick exercise, and then it was time for us to know the new team and the new captain. I remember the president of Netball SA, Cecilia Mulukwani, saying she's going to throw the ball at the next day. So she started with the vice captain, and then she put on the green jacket on the vice captain. And then when the captain's turn came, she threw the ball. There's a blazer here, there's a ball that's coming in, and everybody else was really wanting to know who the captain is. And then Khanyisa Chawane is thrown the ball into, and then it's like, oh wow, here's a new captain. Please take me through the moment when the jacket was going on and the emotions that were running through you at that very time, just as your name was announced?
You know, sometimes you get prepared for these moments. They tell you that, okay, you're the new captain, whatever, so that you don't find out when the media finds out or when the people find out. But in that very moment, it still felt so new. It felt like I wasn't prepared. It felt like I wasn't being told, because it was actually happening. You know, sometimes they prepare you for something, and when it actually happened, that's when I realized, okay, this is real. And this is about to become a journey. You know, at that very moment, I think the emotions was more leaning towards my mother at that moment, because I was actually thinking, what would she have said? You know, this has been a long journey. The commitment towards Netball South Africa that I've had from a young age, and really making sure that I'm at every tournament, I'm at everything that has to do with Netball South Africa. And it just felt at that moment that everything that I've been through, everything that I have encountered, everything that I've committed, everything just came together at that very moment, and it felt like it was being rewarded. It felt like it was being honored. It felt like everything that you went through was not for nothing. You know, it came up to something. And that's when I actually, like, not thank God in that moment, but I mean, I live for God, but at that moment, that's when I realized that what he says in his word is really true. Like, all things work together for your good. At that very moment, you might feel like you're going through a lot and your life may not be fine, but all things work together for the good of those who love him, and I mean, called according to his purpose. And that's when I felt like I was living in my calling. You know, everything now is starting to make sense. Everything now is starting to come together, and the journey that I felt like had already started was only starting now.
The emotions, the thoughts, the calls, obviously, that are coming in because the word has gotten out. Like, take me through then the whole day, all the way leading up to when you were laying your head.
Yeah, after the announcement, it was interviews over interviews. And I mean, I have crazy friends. They were interviewed, and I remember one of the interviews, one of my friends, Kamu, she was like, she feels like she's the captain now because her friend is the captain. You know, I think I just enjoyed the moment on how everyone was happy, you know. Everyone just enjoyed that moment. Everyone just lived in the moment. I felt like the whole team was being appointed as the captain. That's just how happy everyone was. And it just made me feel content in my position at that moment that, you know what, everyone is happy that I'm here. And I should just embrace the moment and love the moment. So it was just interviews that were so exhausting. And we were going into camp the same day. So same day we were going into camp, but we didn't do anything on that day. It was just the media day, and we were going to start a camp the following day, and it was just calls and interviews. At some point I had my phone on flight mode just to
calm
down and like be in the moment, and I think I only laid my head down like at 11, and that's when I could say my prayer, like just to say, God, thank you. And I mean, you want to get something and pray at the moment to say, God, thank you. But I didn't have a chance at that time. So when everything was calm, collected, I think that's when I just drew myself or put myself together. And I was actually just praying to say, God, thank you for this opportunity. You know, thank you for being in this position. Thank you for everything that you have done, you know. And I obviously shed a tear, and I thought to myself, Mom, I wish you were here, because this is like a huge moment. And I know she would have celebrated it. I know at one of the interviews, you could hear in my voice that I actually just wanted to cry, because I just thought to myself, I wish my mother was here, you know, at this moment to celebrate everything. But I mean, she wasn't. And my dad was happy, but it doesn't feel the same. You know, it wasn't the same. But yeah, I think after that, the next day, I can promise you we did fitness testing. And I think I did the worst. I was the worst in the group. The captain was the worst in the group.
Was it because of the interviews and all the time?
I was so exhausted.
Okay.
And I had to wake up the next morning and do all these yo-yo tests, jump tests, everything. I did the worst. Everything was the worst. My jumps were the worst ever. So they, after your testing, they would obviously compare it to the last time and everything. and everything was just, I've never done so bad ever in my fitness test. It was just.
Did you get your conditioning coach come to you like?
It was just the worst.
This is not.
We ran I play center and wing attack. Those are the people that should be in the forefront, you know, being the fittest. I was the most unfit. I came out first on the yo-yo. I jumped the lowest. It was the worst camp ever. But I mean, I got over it. And then the coach literally was like, "I can't believe my captain did it in front of him."
So now they're holding you accountable,
you know. But
you
I mean,
captaincy, and then now you're dropping
your performance, and I just thought to myself, "Oh my gosh, I'm just exhausted."
Did you ever feel like you had to okay, now that I have this title of having to lead this team, did you ever feel like you had to prove yourself day in and day out to your teammates? Or in moments like that, do you feel like they probably not just okay, no, we understand, or you're still in support of her? Or did you just feel like, or did you feel like there's someone okay, hey, this person probably, if I were not to be given the captaincy, they would have it, and now I have to prove myself.
Oh, yeah, the pressure that comes with it. It's always in the background. That thought will always be in the background, like you feel like you need to do something, not extravagant, but you have to be in front of everybody in order for you to look like you're leading by example. It was always there, but I never entertain it. I always tell myself that you knew I was like this, and you chose me like this, so I'm not changing. I'm not going to become different. If my yo-yo is low, then my yo-yo is low. Okay, it's never really low. It was just that day. And I think that's what made the team understand that, okay, maybe she's just tired, because I never really do that bad. But yeah, it will always be there. There's just certain moments you just feel like you have to step up in order for the team to step up, you know. You can't be complacent. You can't be in a certain way, because that just drops the energy levels of the team and all of that. But I'm actually just grateful that I'm leading a team of leaders. A lot of them are captains in most of their clubs. So they are able to lead themselves. I don't have to do much, to be honest.
So you don't have to worry about that?
No. I just do my job and I hopefully inspire others to do their job. That's it.
So we hosted the World Cup, right?
Yes.
And unfortunately, we did not win the World Cup. Right? So you captain, and hopefully
during my time,
please. Is that part of the plan, though? Is it something that's in the back of your mind to say, during my reign, what sort of legacy, since you are the captain of Netball South Africa, are you planning or are you working towards?
That is always a tricky question, because everyone asks that. Under Khanyisa Chawane, what do you want? All of those things. And sometimes the answers can sound really arrogant, or they can sound like you just this proud person. But I mean, if I look at the Spar Proteas in general, we're not just representing ourselves, we're representing almost a brand, representing the country. And you need to set those type of standards, you need to set those type of goals. And I'm just grateful to have become a leader after Bongi, because she really set a good standard in terms of the team. She was really a great leader, and she just made the transition. You know what? I'm just God's favorite child, guys. My transitions are always so smooth. You know, you just come into an environment where you don't have to start over. You know, it's just building from there. And I think for me, the legacy is more of doing something that has never been done. We've never really medaled in these big, like a series against the top four, your Australias, your New Zealands, your England. You know, you look at a Commonwealth Games, we've never been on a podium. You look at a World Cup, we've never been on a podium. And I'm so grateful to have the coaches that we have that are surrounding us. They're really visionaries. They're really people that, I mean, if you look at our coach, she's a successor here in South Africa, because she's coached the Jaguars and they've won the title almost 6 times, you know. So you can already tell the type of mindset that she has. And that's something that we as players have to buy into, you know. So she's more of the leader of the ship, to be honest. And we just really buying into that and really supporting into that. But as a captain, like I said, I just want to do something that was never done. Medaling at a Commonwealth game, medaling at a World Cup. And I know the group that we have right now is more than capable. We just need to keep on going and really doing well in every competition. I mean, Netball South Africa is really doing well to give us these competitions, to give us these opportunities to play against these top countries. You measure yourself, but at the same time, you really push yourself so that you know when that World Cup comes, you know what to do and what to achieve. So I'm looking forward to what we can achieve.
So basically, under your leadership, it's Operation Kekaiquash.
Basically.
Not leaving any stone unturned.
Leaving everything unturned. You know when most people call Sia the gold captain.
Yeah.
You know, you call someone a gold captain because wherever they are, they just win gold.
Yes.
I need that type of energy.
Come on.
I need that type of energy where you become a gold captain wherever you go, whatever competition you play, you're just winning gold. You know, so I need that.
I'm just sitting here. I'm like, I wish I had this one. This kind of. I'm very curious now, Elzo, like with your focus, your drive, and the way that you're just so like focused on the end goal, right? And nothing just seems to be coming your way and disturbing you. What's happening in your social life? Oh no, married nyana, no banyana. What's happening?
Why do I have to share that part? Why do I have to talk about that?
Better.
You know,
we're just trying to get to know you better.
You are so focused, and the thing is, people that are literally, are this focused. Listen, no relationship, like more, no time for Jolo. Is that the case with you? Please tell me no.
I must say, I'm more or less like that. I am a person who's like just focused on your career and all of that, and it's all the social things. I'm not really into that. I'm not really a social butterfly type of person. Oh no, I'm not that type of person. And it's not to be funky to say I'm a sport person, so I don't do that at all. It's just not my type of vibe. Like I just don't enjoy that. I am very introverted. I'm so focused on me. It might sound selfish, but I'm socially awkward. I can't even dance. So imagine if I'm sitting in front of people and I can't do all of that. Relationship-wise, okay, I'm seeing someone at the moment. Right?
Tell us more, man. How did you meet him?
That's
how did you meet him?
That's
Tell us something. How did you meet? Did you come watch your game?
How long have you been together? At least something.
A month? Okay.
So that's why I can't give you more details.
How did you meet him?
We're not going there. This is all I'm going to share. That I'm seeing someone and it's been a month.
Is he an athlete as well?
Which sporting code?
Can we guess?
Yeah. You can say yay or nay.
I'll just say nay to everything.
A rugby player?
I can never do rugby.
No, now you just tell me why.
I can never do rugby.
Soccer player?
With those legs and glutes and stuff?
Like, no. I already have that. Don't you feel like I have it? No, imagine now I have the same combination.
It's definitely a soccer
player, right?
No ways.
If it glutes,
still no ways. Cricket player?
I won't say, guys.
But you're not dismissing the cricket player. You're just saying you won't say. Because the other one she criticized.
I can't criticize cricket people because I don't lukewarm. I don't watch cricket. I don't like cricket that much. It's kind of, sorry to cricket players, but it's kind of boring, But I do watch.
But he's an athlete.
He is an athlete.
But why? Okay,
no,
why?
You don't have to.
Okay, here's my question:
codes.
Why does it have to be a he?
Okay.
You see, now you're taking us somewhere. Come on.
Okay, that's all I can say.
I think we need a coffee with something so that she can get this thing.
Coffee. I need water. I need water, please.
I'm interested.
Now I can't share much.
Yeah, man, I'm really inspired. I'm like, this drive, if I probably had it also when I was like a younger kid,
Do you feel like you'll be far?
Eh?
Don't you feel like you're far enough?
Well, I am, but I'm just saying that with you, it just feels like there's just those little things that I could have avoided if I had the same drive. Do you know what I mean?
She has.
Those little things. You know what I mean? And I'm really surprised because we live like in a generation where I'm exposed to, a generation where you don't really find young girls or like having this type of drive, especially when it comes to connection with sport.
Yeah.
I mean, in school as well, I didn't really feel like a lot of like our girls wanted to play any sport. You know what I mean? It's like I'm gonna just want to be this girly after school, that type of stuff. I'm not gonna really try things out, and to be connected in sport and females in sport as well, right? We mentioned the Netball World Cup, the Netball World Cup in 2023, right?
Yep.
And for the first time, in terms of production, the behind the scenes and everything, you know what I mean? It was the first World Cup in African soil. Everything that was handled there was, our strong women that were handling everything. And it was so inspiring. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And just listen to your story, Elsa. I'm just like, to any young girl that's watching this, I just feel like, hey, you are that role model, that standard. You know what I mean?
But I think in you saying that as well, your association plays a big role. The people you associate with, the people that are in your circle, they play a major role in who you end up becoming, because they have a huge influence on what you do. They have a huge influence on who you become and what you're doing, because the type of support that they give you, the type of, or where they see you, if you only see yourselves playing locally, or you only see yourselves going as far as, I don't know, then that's how far you'll go. But if your association can really see that you can go far, and they actually provide that type of support, where you hold each other accountable, you have those type of conversations. If you have people that you can have those type of conversations with, it plays a big role. But also understanding where you come from, it does not allow you to just become mediocre. It doesn't allow you to just be complacent, because you know where you come from. I know a lot of people who've lost their mothers have decided to just give up on life because they feel like there's no parent, there's no support, there's no whatever. So they just result in being nobodies because there's nobody, But sometimes you just look at those type of situations and you don't have a choice. It doesn't give you a choice. And I say this to a lot of varsity girls now, where you get a sport bursary, for example, in university. They're paying for your school. The financial burden that you remove from your parents plays a huge, huge role. They don't have to pay for your fees. So you have to perform in your sport to keep that bursary. So you end up being in a position where you have no choice but to succeed, and it's holding yourself accountable. It's becoming that type of, you end up becoming that person, and you become that role model to others to realize that they don't have a choice. Where you come from does not allow you to just relax and feel like you can live like other people, because you don't know where they come from. Maybe they have that support. Maybe they have both parents who can look out for them. You don't, So when they're out there maybe partying or whatever, you're studying, you have to.
But do you have fun? What else do you do for fun?
I don't have any necessary hobbies, if I put it like that. I don't like
something
TV.
that you do for fun, even if it's traveling, even if there has to be something.
I only started traveling this year.
Okay.
But I don't really like traveling that much. But I only started doing it this year because I guess I do need an outlet in my life. I can't just be like netball, and whatever. So I only started doing all of that lately. But other than that, I do nothing. I wake up, eat, sleep, netball, whatever.
So do you enjoy playing netball? Like, do you have fun?
You end up not having fun. And it's only also the setup that I'm in right now, because having to go overseas, netball is more professional there. Okay. So now You do netball. We play a match every weekend. So it's like the Premier League. You see, like the soccer league that every weekend, it feels like that with netball. Sorry. It feels like that with netball. You play for 6 months. Every weekend, you have a match. So that's my setup when I'm overseas. From February all the way to July, August, that's all I do. And then I come back home. That's when I went on my holiday because I just needed a breather. After that breather, the international window opens. So then I start playing for the national team. So in the year, to be honest, I don't even have time to be social.
Okay. But can we try and have fun with you now?
What do you want to do?
We want to have some fun.
Okay.
Ask me a fun question.
So it's not about relationships.
No, it's not about relationships. Let's have some sports fun. And I hope you do consume other sporting codes. Yeah,
I'm hoping you can answer.
So we'll start at home. Okay, cool. We'll start at home. We'll go abroad, and in between there'll be individuals. In between there'll be sporting codes, but clubs and teams in between.
Oh my word! Okay.
Ready?
Let's try this. Let's try it. I'm excited.
Okay, cool. We start at home, right? With the PSL. Chiefs or Pirates? It doesn't matter even if you're not a fan, but we just want to find out Chiefs or Pirates.
Pirates.
At home. Let's go to the EPL. Manchester City or the Gunners of London?
Why can't I choose my favorite team?
What's your favorite team?
What is your favorite team?
Chelsea.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Why are you saying?
Okay.
Wow.
No. It's your fun.
Okay.
We are still having that fun.
Thank you.
And then in Spain, Barcelona, Real Madrid.
Barcelona.
Come on. Have fun.
Let me ask you,
There we go.
while we're there, right? While we're there, Messi or Ronaldo?
Messi.
Hey! Oh! Captain, my captain.
Thank you.
No, please
All
leave.
right.
Thank you.
Lewis Hamilton or Max Verstappen?
Lewis Hamilton.
We are coming back here
Okay.
in South Africa in rugby. Siya Kolisi or Makazola Mampimpi?
There's something in that laugh. There's something to cook in that laugh.
I'll go with my Pimpe.
Yeah, boy.
Okay, we shall not ask why.
Ask no questions. Hear no
Here no
lies.
lies, ne? Okay, cricket. Kagiso Rabada or Themba Bavuma?
Kagiso.
I say Valampa.
There's something with this.
Okay, so I'm going to ask you to do something that has never been done because that's what you're all about and into.
Okay.
I'm going to ask you one more time to read your speech when you accepted captaincy. Please. It's something that's never been done. Okay. We are asking you to do it here. Can we get it so that you go through it?
It's on my phone.
Yeah. Can we get it?
How was this? Was it long?
Please allow her to.
After the game, how are you actually after the game? Are you when you guys lose? Do you get aggro? Do you get?
Oh no.
Do you just leave that to the coach?
You are obviously disappointed, but you don't get angry because it's something that you need to get over. Like the sport that we play, you don't just play one game and it's done. So you need we'll probably be in a tournament or a series and the next day you're playing. So if you're still sulking about what happened yesterday, you'll have a bad day.
I'm making mistakes. Janichi said to me, how do you deal with me? Do you like, hey, lift up your socks? Or you're just like, girl, come on, you got this?
Yeah, I mean, it depends on the mood.
Okay.
There's always times where you have to be like, guys, you have to say the hard stuff. But sometimes you have to be supportive just to get...
issues,
sometimes.
Okay,
Let's see.
Ready? When you are.
Yeah! I can't believe I read this, but anyway.
Yes, please. And then been looking at the camera.
So now it's like...
No, I'm kidding.
Okay.
Go through your speech.
Okay. So, Netball South Africa President, Ms. Cecilia Molokwane, Netball South Africa Executive, coaches, management, teammates, respected congregation, and our valued sponsors, good morning. I guess now it's good afternoon.
Yes.
Wow. With that being said, ladies and gentlemen, I am truly humbled and honored to stand before you today as the newly appointed captain of the SPAR Proteas Netball team. I'm overwhelmed with gratitude and excitement to lead this talented group of athletes. I want to thank Madam President Cecilia Molokwane, our coaches, management, and Netball South Africa for entrusting me with this immense responsibility. I am proud to represent our country and our sport on an international stage. To our sponsors, I express my gratitude for your trust and support that you continuously show us. I ensure that we will work hard and will work diligently to justify your investment and make a positive impact. To my teammates, I am honored to stand alongside each and every one of you. Your dedication, passion, and expertise inspire me daily. It always has. I promise to support, motivate, and lead you with integrity, empathy, and courage. I pledge to lead by example with a growth mindset, a commitment to continuous improvement. I will strive to make our team a force to be reckoned with and to make South Africa proud. Thank you again for this incredible opportunity. I am ready to embark on this journey with each of you. Let's work together to achieve netball excellence and make our mark on the world stage.
Come on! Oh, man. I want to play for your team. I want to play for this team.
And then to that young girl from Zanin, whose opportunities are not as great as the opportunities that have been afforded to you, whose parents are supportive, but they financially cannot make that dream possible, who's seen the limitations of being in their village and cannot see beyond leaving that village. Please talk to her and tell her what is it that she can do and how she must keep going even when the storms are against her.
I think there's so many stories in South Africa that can inspire each and every young girl out there to not give up on their dreams, you know. It's more important to know what you want. It's more important to know where you want to be and never ever giving up on that. And I think to that young girl out there, it's more of them realizing where they are and what they want and what they need to do to change the situation at home. Changing a situation at home can become a goal, and it's a goal that you'll chase forever. It never ends, because situations will always be different. So it may look so hopeless right now, but in not giving up in that, you can change that situation and help others around you to change.
And lastly, if in this conversation, Mommy's here with us, she's here, she's joined us, what would you say to her?
I'll just cry.
Yeah.
I think if my mother was here, it's just to say thank you for the years that she was alive, all that she has taught me at that time. It's still the principles that I hold dearly today. I think I'm who I am today because of the things that she taught me. She was really ambitious. She was really someone who worked really hard and almost did everything for us. We had what we had because of everything that she did. And today I still strive to be that person, to say where I come from or who I am or whatever does not stop me from getting what I want. And also giving to the people that I love, going out of my way to provide for them and all of that. So it's just really to say thank you.
Lovely.
And we say thank you.
Oh, thank you so much.
Yeah, I talked
for sharing. We enjoyed it. For sharing your story, your journey, and I'm sure taking from you because I think what we've taken from you is how headstrong you are, how resilient you are through the storms, and understanding who you are, where you come from, and where you want to go. So all we will say to you is we are ready for the golden reign.
Yes. Now we're
Under Captain Khanyisa. Thank you so much for joining us here with that insightful information, with that encouragement that we had. Also taking into your daily lives that it doesn't really matter how difficult the situation is. Remember where you come from and remember where you're going and why. Always keep the why in mind. That is how we're closing off this afternoon right here on Beyond the Game. See you next time. Don't forget to subscribe, like, and comment on the actual content, guys, not on Sia's looks.
La. Don't I have? Thank you so much, man. Thank you. I'm really inspired. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah.
I'm really inspired by your story, your drive, and you know that I'm going back to the field now as well. And they wanna, I need that winning mentality. I think you know. Oh no, definitely.
And then
it's a fair speech.
Thank you so much to Tempo for hosting us once again for this beautiful episode that we had. We love the coffee, we love the space, and our guests feel comfortable. Thank you so much, Tempo.
Tempo. You're so cool, girl.
Hi.